So, good evening once again. My name is Jim Buss. I'm the Dean of the Honors College here at Northern Kentucky University. We're really excited to have you join us for this special webinar, which is really to go through the honors application, to let you know what we look for in the application, where our area of focus is, how you can best sort of position yourself in your application, not just for admission into the Honors College, but we also use the Honors College application as our scholarship application. So when you apply to the Honors College, you're automatically applying for honors scholarships that might be available to you. So we want you to put your best foot forward. We want you to have the most competitive application for those, and we want to see you here next fall semester. So tonight, what we thought we'd do is give you some insights, give you kind of behind the scenes, not just into what the essay questions are, what the application looks like, but how you might sort of craft the best answers and craft the best application to make sure that you get into the Honors College, but also that you're competitive for the various scholarships that we have to offer. So what I'm going to do is turn it over to Brittany, let her introduce herself again, and then we have a little bit of a PowerPoint show that's really walking you through the different parts of the application. She'll be doing that. I'll be sitting here monitoring the chat room, so if you have questions, go ahead and type those in or turn on your camera, and we'll go ahead and call on you. Don't hesitate to ask anything throughout the entire evening about the application or the Honors College or NKU in general. So Brittany, I'll turn it over to you.
Hi, everyone. Good evening. So happy you're here. My name is Brittany Beal. I'm the coordinator of admissions for the Honors College. And as Dean Buss said, the purpose of tonight's webinar is to really help you with crafting your honors application. So letting you know, kind of the idea behind the questions, and then, what are tips for how you could best succeed with answering those questions, kind of give you an idea of maybe what our admissions committee would be looking for when we do review those applications. So the Honors College here at NKU, we are looking for students who are motivated, willing to make the most of their college experience and really expand their horizons, take on new challenges. So our application kind of gets at that, tries to get to know you as an individual. So the things that we look for in our application are maybe a little different than what you would expect. For example, we do not look for or ask your high school GPA or your standardized test score. So that's something our admissions committee does not see when reviewing. We do not use that as a basis for admissions. So there's no score that would automatically get you into honors, no score that would automatically keep you out either. So our application is more of a way for you to tell us about yourself and for us to get to know you as a student and connect you with resources here and see how we can best serve you when you do become a student here at NKU. So like I said, we have an Honors College application. This is separate from NKU's main application, but you can apply to honors at any time, whether you have submitted your NKU application or not. And the application for honors is completely free. It's available online. You don't have to send in anything additional other than just fill out the online application, which can be found on our website. And the priority deadline this year for admission for fall 22 is January 15th. So if you get your application in by that date, not only will you be considered for admissions to the Honors College, you will also be considered for our honors scholarships for incoming freshmen. So we would use that one application for the Honors College for both of those things. And then students are notified by February 1st of the admissions decision. And we try to get our scholarship decisions out by then. Sometimes it takes a little longer working with financial aid, getting everything necessary. But if we don't have that by February 1st, usually very shortly after, within the next couple of weeks. Excuse me. So the way that our process works is you submit your application by that priority deadline. We do not review any applications until that January 15th deadline, at which point our admissions committee comes together, which is made of faculty and staff from all across the university. And 2 reviewers from our committee read every single application. So every single one that's submitted gets read by at least 2 people. They're scored, and then we use that. They provide a recommendation for whether or not admissions should be offered for honors, and then that's how we review those. So like I said, our committee does not have access to GPA, does not have access to test scores or anything of that nature. It's more of just getting to know you, your interests, and how best we can serve you what you're looking to accomplish here at NKU. And we'll get into a little more details of those once I get into describing the essay questions. But so our overall goal with the application is to find motivated students looking to make the most of their time at NKU and who excuse me, again, are really going to take advantage of the resources, participate in our honors community. And that's why we find these essays so important, and we really wanted to share this information with you. But with all that being said, the essays, there are 3 required essays and then 1 optional essay as well. So we'll be going over each of those tonight. They're not overly long, just maybe 2 to 3 paragraphs for each essay prompt. So yeah, so nothing super required. But D-Bus, if you have anything to add before we start with question 1.
I would say it's important to understand that we're not expecting 10-page answers or anything like that. In fact, what we want to do is in a couple paragraphs or so get to know you. And so it's really important that your responses to these questions are really giving us some insights into who you are and what motivates you. And so a lot of times students might kind of think about, well, I'm going to write this long flowery essay and bring in quotes from people, and it's not that kind of essay that you would think of like for an English class or something like that. What our readers are, what the raters, the people who read your applications, and there are 2 people who read each one, what they're really looking for is, can I get to know you as a person in a very short period of time? And so so that's really important to understand. It's not just, so the kind of the great, I think the great length of an essay is just a couple paragraphs. It's nothing overly long, but we also want to know enough about you. So, the 2 or 3 sentence answer probably isn't going to put you at the top of the list for scholarships and things like that. But I've also seen essays that are 3-4 pages long that don't get rated very well because they're not really telling us about you as a person.
That's a really good point. Yeah, length isn't always necessarily required. So if you can get your point across to us in just those couple paragraphs, that's all we would need. So now that we've kind of covered the process and the kind of details of the application process, I'm going to go ahead and get started with our question 1. So I'll pull up my PowerPoint here that has, so right here you'll see this is the essay question 1 prompt. So the Honors College invests numerous resources in helping our students be successful. If given the opportunity, how will you take advantage of the opportunities offered by the NKU Honors College? So what we're really getting at with this question is trying to find out about your motivations. So who are you? What kind of opportunities are you interested in taking advantage of? What have you taken advantage of in the past to kind of form your experience? And then also this question helps us personalize your experience once you become a student here at NKU. So like I said, it tells us what you're interested in and what you're most excited about with honors. So we can match you with those resources once you join us here in the Honors College.
Yeah, and I would add there because we really do tailor the honors experience for every single student in the college. So every student's experience is different. Some students really take advantage of our study abroad opportunities and our scholarships for that. Some students take advantage of the connections that we help make to get you into lab research with faculty mentors. Sometimes it's the living learning community, the housing environment, where students really want to be part of that community. That's more kind of a social thing, perhaps to aid in their educational experience. We have pre-med learning communities. We have all of these different things that we offer. And what we really want to know from that question is, how can we help you? So we do all of these things, but what do you want to take advantage of? And as Brittany said, it's not just about showing us that you want to take advantage of things to get accepted and to get a scholarship. We actually use these essay questions to then develop a program that's specific for you. So, we have 30 students who are really interested in pre-medical studies, want to go to med school, then we create a program for them. If we have students who are really interested in social activism or social justice, and we know we have community partners who can help with those students, we connect students to that. And so the essay questions are twofold. One, it tells us about you. It tells us a little bit about what you perhaps, and Brittany I know is going to talk about, like, researched into us. So we will encourage that. But also just how can we help you make the most of your college experience? And that's really important because that's our ultimate goal, is to help you make the most of your experience.
Yeah, so you'll see that a lot of these questions have multiple purposes, but the big overarching theme is that we want to get to know you as an individual, not just from a piece of paper, that you're not just your transcript. We want to get to know you in your own words. So a couple tips for answering this question. You may think like you're not sure what opportunities we offer. So I would suggest doing research, and a really great place to start there would be the Honors College website. So if you go to honors.nku.edu, you'll find our webpage that talks all about the different things we offer. And specifically, I think you would find it very helpful to check out the first year experience section of our webpage. So this talks about all the different things like the learning communities that Dean Buss was mentioning, different leadership, peer mentor support services that we have that students can take advantage of starting in their first year of honors. So that would be a really great place to kind of jump and see maybe what we have to offer you right away as soon as you join us, what your experience would look like as a first year student at NKU in the Honors College. And then, that would be a great place to start. Also, we have some social media. So we have YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. So that's a good place to find out, what our current students are doing. We share about our social events, different exciting things like guest speakers that we have, things that occur. So that's a good spot. And then also you can contact a student ambassador. So on that first year experience webpage, you'll see the Honors College team, and it has peer mentors and student ambassadors, alumni ambassadors, all of our faculty and staff that are here to support you. So reaching out to any of those people on that page, but specifically our student ambassadors, they're here to share their experience with you and answer your questions the best that they can. And if anyone has questions, feel free to just jump in at any point, or like Dean Buss said, write in the chat and we can read the question and answer to you as well. So moving on to essay question 2. The Honors College seeks to encourage students to develop a sense of personal and social responsibility. If given the opportunity, how will you contribute to the broader Honors College, NKU, and/or Northern Kentucky and Greater Cincinnati communities, either during your time at NKU or after you graduate? So again, this question has 2 different purposes for us asking. The first is to help us understand your career goals and how you plan to connect your honors experience to the external community local to NKU. And then the second would be, again, to help us advise you once you become a student here. So when you share about your career goals, share about the connections that you're hoping to make with the local community, we try to find partners that meet those goals, meet the wishes that our students have. And so it helps our honors advisor advise you, helps us plan events, helps us kind of form that experience that would be most beneficial to you based on your interests that you tell us about here. So again, some tips for answering this question would be to think about your previous experiences with volunteering, maybe service you've done in your community or through your high school, different outreach things that you've participated in. You can share that kind of information. And also, how do you plan to become engaged outside the classroom at NKU? So there's various different ways that you can become involved through sports teams, different leadership organizations, volunteer groups, things like that. So you can, share about that information, excuse me, with us. And then I think the biggest tip with this would be focus on talking about one meaningful experience rather than many small experiences. So you don't have to cover every single experience that you've ever had. You could pick your most impactful one or your favorite experience and share that. Like we've said, these aren't extremely long essays, so don't feel like you have to tell us every single thing that you've ever done. Focus on, your most impactful one and share that with us would be, I think, the best tip for answering this one.
Yeah, and I will add there, one of the other parts of the honors application does have a space where you can list extracurricular activities, things that you're doing. So that's kind of where the list of things normally appears. Like if you volunteered a lot, you've been part of a lot of things, you can list that in that section, and all the readers will, everybody who's rating your application will read that part. This question in particular is like really having you reflect on what it means if we invest in you. So one of our goals in the Honors College is to invest in our students, whether that is, hundreds of thousands of dollars of scholarships that we give for tuition, or the tens of thousands of dollars in scholarships we give for study abroad, or the tens of thousands of dollars that we give to help support students doing undergraduate research or creative activities, doing artwork, performances, volunteering in the community, whatever that might be. We are going to invest a lot in you as a member of NKU and a member of the Honors College. And what our goal is to help create leaders in your communities in the future. So what we want to know is, if we spend this time investing in you, how will you give back in the future? Or how have you already had an experience of giving back in that sense of personal responsibility? Because we want to, like I said, create really responsible leaders of the future, not just for NKU or our local community, but for whatever community you might move to once you graduate from college. And so that's kind of the core of this question.
All right. So moving on to question 3. Describe a time you faced a challenge, failure, or unexpected setback. What did you learn about yourself? How did this experience prepare you for the future? And what approaches or outlooks will you bring to college as a result of your experience overcoming this challenge? So the Honors College, I think I mentioned at the beginning, we're looking for motivated students who are resilient and want to persist in college despite challenges that they may face. We all face unexpected challenges, as we've come to realize in the last year or two, that things can pop up, but we want students who are willing to, do what it takes to succeed. And we're here to support you, students that will seek those resources and find solutions to the challenges that they are faced with. And then, so this is also an opportunity for you to share innovative approaches or creative approaches that you may have used to addressing challenges, or ideas that you have that, that you've learned that you can bring to college. What kind of skill sets do you have that are maybe unique that you could bring to our honors community? So some things to consider when you're answering this question is, what have you really learned about yourself as a result of the experience that you choose to type about? the question is about personal growth, so don't be afraid to tell a personal story if that's something that you're interested in. The applications are kept confidential just among our review committee, so you don't have to worry about something being shared or referenced later on. These are all confidential applications. So if you're comfortable with doing that, that could be something that you consider. And one other point is your response doesn't have to focus on a major setback or like a really terrible tragedy or anything like that. That's not what we're looking for, the point of the question. It of course could talk about that, but it could also be about a positive challenge if that's more fitting to your past experiences as well. So don't think, oh, I've never had anything extremely terrible happen, I don't know what to write about. It could be something positive as well. So consider those things as well when you're thinking, brainstorming maybe your answer for this question. And then, so the last question on our application is optional, but I will say most students do opt into answering because it's kind of the most fun one that we have. And it's just simply, is there anything else you would like us to know about you? So our admissions team is seeking to better know you as a person and understand how you might contribute to our diverse and eclectic group of honor scholars at NKU. So like I said, this really is just a, what do you want to tell us? What's unique about you? What's, what are your interests? Maybe a challenge that you've overcome, an interesting story. We've had students submit like a written piece or a poem that they're really, really proud of that they've completed for a class. We just want to get to know you. So it's definitely your space to showcase your personality and tell us about yourself.
Yeah, and I would add there is no, so where the other 3 essay questions, I don't want to say there are right answers, but you can't just attach a poem to one of the other 3 or something like that. This really, there's no wrong answers to this one. This is really like, if you want a writing sample, you want to tell us about that you juggle and you're an acrobat, or you love riding horses, or it doesn't matter what, it really helps us get to just know you as a person. We've had students who are like, I'm one of 3 triplets, and this is really important to me, or something like that. It's just really allowing us to get to know you as a person, because we are looking for a diverse population of honor students who can help one another, who come from different backgrounds, who come to us with different experiences, who come to us with different skill sets. And this is also a point where, we've had students tell us, I'm horrible at math, and maybe my high school transcript shows that I'm not very good at math, but I love music. And this is what I really want to dedicate myself to, is the arts and music. And that really helps us then think about, well, how can we help you with that? Or how can we build upon that? We have students who, they're biology majors, but they tell us in this essay that they play the flute, and we'll have conversations with them about joining the orchestra on campus, because you don't have to give up those things just because you come to college. And so it really is, this is my favorite question of all of them when students answer, because we get to know you very, very well. And it is weird because so I'm not one of the raters, so I don't actually rate any of the essays, but I read every single application each year, and Brittany does as well. And I remember things from this question that when students end up coming here, I'm like, oh, you told us that you really were into, I had a student who was in one of my classes, just as an example, who told us that he competed in like food, like Chopped, or the TV show, like food competitions. He was really, like, he had done that and he was really interested in it. And so he and I, as soon as COVID's over, we've planned to do like a one-on-one battle cooking session to help raise money for the university. And he's a business major. It's not really something, but he enjoys it. And so we get to know you that way, and maybe tailor some of your experiences to really kind of keep those passions alive. And so there's no wrong answers here. It's the best part of the application, in my view, when I read them. And so, don't feel obligated to put something there, but feel free to tell us anything about yourself.
Yeah, I agree. It is one of the best parts of reviewing the application because it does really give us insight into each individual. So, I mean, this one's pretty straightforward with, what we're looking for, what you could write here, but a way to think about it would be to think of maybe what unique skills or characteristics do you bring to your friend group or your family or your community that you're a part of, and what makes you you, and telling us about that. So like Dean Buss said, feel free to tell us as much or as little as you want, but have fun with this question. And it's a great way for us to get to connect with you before you even join us here. So often before we even meet you in person, we feel like we kind of get to know you. So with that question, that concludes the essay portion of our application, but we do have a couple other parts. So perhaps it would be helpful if I open up our application, actually. I can show you how to navigate to it.
Yeah, and as you're doing that, I'll just say that if you just go to the Honors College webpage, there's a big button there that says application for 2022. You click on it and it brings you straight to the application. So you can actually look at this at any point. You don't have to fill it out to see the application. So you can kind of play around with it a little bit just to get comfortable with the application.
Hopefully you can see my screen here. So this is our Honors College website. When you go to honors.nku.edu, this is the page you'll see. So if you click this apply now for fall 2022, it'll take you directly to our application. And as we've said, it is completely free, which I think is a great thing, a great point to know. And the information we ask here is all that we need. There's nothing additional that you have to submit to us, such as like a letter of recommendation or anything else as far as that goes. But you'll see it starts out with just some general biographical type information. So name, birth date, contact information, and then some information that again helps us prepare for when you join us and get to know, the academic side of your interests. So academic area of interest, you don't have to necessarily type a major here. It could be more of a topic that you're interested in. It could be maybe more career field based, what you type here. So really, we're just looking at what is your academic interest, not necessarily what major do you plan to declare. And it could be multiple things as well. Sometimes students write, 2 or 3 things there if they haven't decided, or maybe they're planning to pursue multiple things through a double major, or just pursue multiple things while they're at NKU. This is the spot Dean Buss had mentioned about the extracurricular activities. So this would be where you could list out everything that you've participated in, all the things that you're proud of and want to tell us about. You can list that there. And then you can tell us in here, you can indicate your first and second choice for honors learning communities, which information is available on the website about these if you aren't familiar, but you can just select from these questions here. So if you're interested in leadership, you can select that one. And if you have a second one that you're interested in, you can select a second one as well. And then this next question is the last one before the essays. And it's just about resources that you may be interested in. So we partner with different offices across campus to help students, and you can select, you don't have to select any, or you could select all of them or just all that apply to you. Anything that you're interested in. This isn't a commitment to say that you're definitely going to do this. It's just a way for us to put you in touch with these resources. We often send information if you indicate that you're interested in one, and put you in touch with the contacts here on campus that can tell you more about getting involved. And then you'll see the various, oh, go ahead.
Well, I was also going to say with those offices, these are really partners that we have across campus. And so a lot of times you'll end up, even before you find out if you're in the Honors College, you may get a joint letter from myself and the director of one of the programs, just telling you a little bit more about what we have to offer at NKU. But it also helps us sometimes. For example, the Pride Mentor Program. Last year's first year class, we had a lot of students who were interested in being part of that LGBTQ plus mentor program. And it actually encouraged us to develop a partnership. And we offer a course now on queer activism with the director of that office. And so it also helps us if we know we have a lot of students who are interested in NKU Rocks, for example, at the African American Student Initiative. We partnered with them on a project called Humans of Greater Cincinnati with the freshman class because we had students who were both in honors and in that program. So you can be in both things, but it helps us also figure out like what programming we can offer to you through those partnerships. And so, when we know a lot of students want to study abroad, we do programs with study abroad. We know we have a lot of students who are interested in on-campus housing. It helps us develop a relationship with housing. But like Brittany said, you don't have to click any of them if you don't want. That's fine. It just lets us know a little bit about you and kind of gets at that point of how we can help you once you become a student here.
So after that question, the rest of the application is the 4 essay questions that we discussed, and then the submit button here, which would submit it and send it our way for review. So
there is one huge thing to remember, and it's at the very beginning of the application, but you cannot save the application. And so I personally recommend that you work on your essays and the materials in like a Word document or something, and then copy and paste before you hit submit, because I know it's frustrating. We haven't figured out the technology yet to be able to save it. But if you don't, if you write essay number 1 and you get distracted and you go someplace else and you come back and the window's refreshed, you're going to lose anything that you've written. So that's why we leave the application right there open. You don't have to pay to get to it. You don't have to fill anything out. You can see the whole thing. We often recommend that you work on it like in a Word document and then copy and paste over to the application.
Yeah, that's definitely the best strategy to avoid any kind of disasters of internet timing out or computers closing unexpectedly. The last thing that I have is just some kind of general reminders about the application. So again, it is completely free to apply to honors. It's free to participate in honors. So everything we do is free. So it's not like you apply and then all of a sudden are hit with a fee of some sort. It's free. Everything we do is free, which is why we're looking for students interested in taking advantage of the opportunities that we offer. And then again, our priority deadline is January 15th, 2022 for fall 2022 admissions. So if you're interested in being considered for priority admissions and our honors incoming freshman scholarships, you would definitely want to make sure to get this application in by that January 15th priority deadline.
Now, I want to add there that some students will ask, well, why would I submit it now if I could wait until January 15th? And the truth is that when you fill out your application, Brittany and I we do read it and we look at it. And what we will be able to do as soon as you submit it, we will help connect you to resources on campus. So give you more information. So if you wait until January 15th to fill out the application, when we review them for the scholarships and everything else, we'll still review it. It doesn't matter if you turn it in today or January 15th, but what you won't get is us helping you connect to all those other things. So, if you click that you're interested in study abroad, sometime before January 15th, we're probably going to connect you with the study abroad office to learn about what opportunities we have, what scholarships we have to offer, those kinds of things. And so the earlier you submit actually helps a little bit in the sense that we'll provide you with more information. We'll also invite you to events that we have on campus, that we have visitation events and things like that for honors, some special behind the scenes tours, stuff like that. So you don't have to wait till January 15th, but if you do, please know that we'll consider your application no matter when you submit it up until then. But if you submit it early, we can help connect you to resources and be in touch.
That's a great point. So students who do submit their application by the January 15th deadline will be reviewed and notified of their admissions decision to honors by February 1st. So that's a really exciting announcement day where you get the initial announcements, because we know students immediately want to know on that day. You get an email sent to you that day to share the news, and then also a packet with lots of fun information sent to your house as well. So those are always fun to prepare and get to students and then hear that they received them. We feature different things on social media and try to make it a fun kind of decision day in February. And then as Dean Buss had just previously mentioned, the application cannot be saved. So that's a big thing to remember when completing this.
Yeah, I will say that we also send a lot of swag out in the mail to students who are accepted. So you'll get a bunch of NKU stuff, honors things, stuff like that. It really starts the process of celebrating your acceptance, scholarships that we might be offering, all of that kind of stuff. So really look, February 1st is a big day for us of announcing who gets into next year's class. So at this point, we normally open it for questions. If anybody has any questions for us or wants to know more about the application, about honors, NKU, we're here to answer your questions. Again, you can type them in the chat, or you can just go ahead and turn on your microphone or turn on your camera and jump in if you'd like. Or we've done such an incredible job of answering everyone's questions.
Well, while maybe people are thinking of questions, I can, oh, we just got one, it looks like.
Yeah, so the question is the coursework for the Honors College harder or more rigorous than the normal course load? And the answer is no. We're very specific about that. Our Honors College is not about harder classes or more work or longer papers or more reading. I would say the classes are different in the sense that, our classes typically have fewer than 18 students or fewer in them. They're hands-on. The faculty are really kind of devoted to working with students to specifically accomplish your goals. So it's much more, I just taught earlier today, and we had 18 students in a classroom and everybody was in discussion. It was a lively debate, actually, like people, really actively involved in the discussion for the day. And so it's a little bit different because it's typically we don't have a lot of tests in honors classes. You're mostly discussing, submitting essays or papers. You're really engaging in a very different way in the classroom environment. You're also probably going to be doing things like connecting to the community and doing community projects where you get to meet, people, when I say the community, people in nonprofits, people in the business world, whatever the course is interested in, students are really engaged outside the classroom and kind of connecting that classroom experience to real life situations. So if you talk to any of our honors student ambassadors, they'll tell you the same thing, because this is the most common question we get is honors harder or more work? And every single student will tell you no. It's different, it's more engaging. Some of them will say in some cases it's funner, more fun because of kind of how creative we are with what we're doing in the classroom. But it's not meant to, and it's never intended to be harder or more work for students. It's just intended to be more engaging. So we have another question. Brittany, do you want to read that one?
This one says, what percentage of honors applicants get accepted? I do not know the percentage off the top of my head. Do you happen to know that?
Yeah, so I will tell you this, it's never the same. Really what we do is we try to, if you write compelling essays, you're going to be accepted in the Honors College. I mean, we do and we don't have a number that we're targeting. So for example, this year we have 190, 94, 95 students in our first year class, our freshman class. And we had about 400 plus students apply. I'm not sure how many got accepted out of that. But what we really try to do is we have limited capabilities of, like I said, our classes are 18 students or fewer, and all these opportunities that we connect, the scholarships. And so I would say strong applications get accepted no matter what. We're not looking at a specific number for those. Where the difference is probably when it comes to resources and scholarships and things like that. And that's probably a smaller percentage. Maybe 10% of the students have a scholarship offer that we give specifically for honors. That doesn't mean that it's not a scholarship offer from the university or a merit-based scholarship or something connected, but I would say about 10% get specific money from us on top of whatever other scholarships they get. So it's hard to answer that question about percentage because it really does fluctuate. Several years ago, we had 200 some applications, and I think 200 were accepted. And some years we have 500 applications and 360 or 80 get accepted because quite honestly, we get some students who apply and they write one sentence for an essay, and our readers the people who read the essays don't find that compelling. But I hope that answers your question. It's not like I said, it's not a specific percentage. It's just really about the quality of your answers and how we get to know you. And if we think that we can help you in your college career, we want to. That's our mission. So I hope that answers your question. I know it's not as easy as saying, well, 50% get accepted or whatever, but we don't really. I don't think it's ever been the same in a year that we've done it. I mean, if you tell us about you and it's a compelling application, I mean, we want you to be here. So really, it's I hate to say it, but students and I will say this, we don't actually reject anyone. We don't reject anyone. What we do is sometimes we can't offer admission for this year. Maybe we don't have enough seats in classes or things like that. But we have students who end up coming here who weren't initially in honors and then who join in later semesters because I will keep those applications personally, and I will reach out to students who come to NKU that we might not be able to help immediately. Because sometimes when students get here, then we get to know them a little bit better.
I think that's really a testament to, how the Honors College seeks to be a resource for all students, not just high achieving students or not just students who maybe can fit honors in beginning in their first year. For some students, for whatever reason, it's not an option, or maybe it's just not in their best interest. They don't find it in their best interest to join right away. But Dean Buss does truly reach out to those students, no matter if it's 10 students or 80 students. He would reach out to them individually, invite them in for one-on-one meetings to see how we can help them, how they're doing at NKU during their first year. And if it's a better time for them to join honors and they're still interested, that opportunity is always open for students. So don't think that if you do get something that says, now's not going to work, it doesn't mean that honors would never work for you. There's always that option.
And like I said, typically students who are not initially accepted are the ones who, write a one sentence. Or I will tell you the answer not to give is a one sentence answer that says, I want a scholarship. We'll provide scholarships, but that's not the reason to take advantage of all the opportunities. But that often for the committees who read the essays isn't impressive if they say, if you simply write like, I want to be in the Honors College because you have scholarships. That doesn't really tell us how we can help you, because that's only one tiny part of what we do. But I would say if you really, if you put effort into the essay questions and you tell us about you and we get to know you. I also suggest, and I know this sounds weird, but if you email either Brittany or I, and we'll put our contact information up here, have a conversation with us, because sometimes even the committee will say, well, I didn't really get to know the student in their application. But if we know that we've had conversations with you or have gone back and forth, or you've attended workshops like this, you've asked us questions, sometimes we can talk to the committee about, well, actually what you don't see in that application is this or that, because we've had a conversation with the student. And we think that they'd be a really good fit for NKU and the Honors College. So that can also help. Just keep in touch with us, talk to us. And like I said, unlike a lot of honors colleges and honors programs, our goal is not to weed out people in the application process. Our goal is to try to serve every single student who applies. And so if you can tell us how we can serve you, we will. The applications that quote unquote get rejected or not accepted right away are really the ones where we can't figure out how we can help. And so we don't know what to do. And so we offer scholarships or spaces to other students who we know who tell us how we can help them. I hope that makes sense. If I had it my way, we'd accept every student and just come join us. Come help us help you. So we got some time for some more questions if you have them. Well, we really hope that you found tonight helpful. Please feel free to contact us. Brittany, do you have the slide with our contact information that you can put up there?
Yes, I do. So can you see that?
So there you go. There's my name. Like I said, I'm James or Jim Buss. I'm the Dean of the Honors College. Brittany, our Coordinator of Admissions. We also have David Keim, who couldn't join us tonight. He's our Coordinator of Advising and helps students, sort of enroll in your courses and learning communities and all of that kind of stuff. There's his contact information. You can email any of us at any time about anything. If you forget all of these emails or you can't find them, you can always just email honors@nku.edu and it will come to us one way or the other. I would also say that we are recording tonight's session and it will be posted on our YouTube channel. So if you forget any of this or you're like, oh crap, they had a slide that showed this thing, or I can't remember what they said about this question, you can always go to the YouTube channel and find this video. For those of you who are watching us on YouTube some time from now, hello, welcome, and please feel free to reach out to us. There's all of our contact information. Brittany, any final things?
I think just overall, whether you're here joining us tonight or watching this on YouTube and found this information that way, just know that we do encourage all students interested in honors to apply. I don't think that we've said that yet. We try to reiterate that we don't consider GPA and test scores as a basis for admissions. Any student who's interested in taking advantage of the resources and opportunities we offer, please apply or contact us and let us know that you're interested and we can share more information with you. We've done one webinar this fall already, kind of about general honors information, but we have quite a few more to come, so stay tuned for that. Those are also great ways to get to know more about honors in kind of a maybe more fun setting than just reading information online. Like I said, whether you're joining us tonight or watching this in the future, we hope that you'll submit your application and we hope that you'll join us for some future events and we can get to know you as you get to know honors more throughout the semester.
So what we're going to do right now is stop the recording.